All right, welcome to bullwaves.org. This is the weekend video. Welcome back, everybody. I said that I would be here this week, and I'm here this week. There was a bit of a mess up on last week's video, and I'm sorry about that. I don't know how it happened. The screen went blank, but I'm going to, hopefully that won't happen this week. Sometimes the software kind of stalls. Don't know why, it just did it. All right, this is the homepage of bullwaves.org if you want nightly Elliott wave analysis. Check out bullwaves.org. Okay, let's get into the update today. All right, now I'm going to check, are we actually on screen? Yes, we are. We seem to be on screen. Okay, let's get back to go to Eurodollar. We'll start with the Eurodollar as usual. Now, this week we got a pattern change. Just with it was this pattern change, but it was the alternate pattern anyway. So we're moving lower. I'm going to run through the dollar pretty quick because everybody knows the dollar strength. Yeah, I will remind you, because we got to toot our own horn now and again. I will remind you, way back here in December 2020, when the dollar was dying, and it was never going to come back, I was saying you got to watch out because there's a collapse in the euro coming, and here we are. We're down below parity. I actually didn't think we'd get below parity, but here we are. Right, we'll go to the 4-hour count again. Here is wave 4. So we're counting wave 5 down. Wave 5 of C of B. So this is it will be an expanded flat correction in wave B. So we're counting wave 5 of that C wave of B, and we're counting 5 waves down in that C wave, or in this wave 5. So we've got wave 1 done, wave 2 done. We're moving down to wave 3. It's moved, we've declined nice and impulsively so far. We're reaching new lows this morning. So, all in all, I think we just track 5 waves down and we look for another low somewhere probably down. I was looking at about 95 throughout the week here. That will be where we'll probably close out the channel here. So once we get to about 95 again, then I'll see if we have a complete 5-wave pattern, and then we'll look up again. So here we go to the hourly chart. You can see the extension lower that's happening this evening. We're probably getting to a point where wave 3 will come to wave 3 of 3 will come to a close. I was kind of looking at about 96, 90 or 97 or for the close of wave 3. That is where the length of wave 1, wave 3 reaches the length of wave 1. But I think this will probably be wave 3 of 3 that will reach the length of wave 1, because I do think we'll probably have to extend a little lower in the actual wave 3 to close out the actual wave 3, and that'll be next week sometime, depending on how this wave 3 and 4 close out. So you'll see we'll have wave 4 correction, then a 5th wave decline. So we got a bit to go here. I'm not getting overly excited about it. It's just it's going through the motions of the alternate count, and which is now the main count. Going through the motions, and we're going to get down somewhere near around 95 to complete this pattern, maybe 94, and then we'll look up again in a large C wave. Okay, so we'll go to cable as well. Here's the 4-hour count cable. As you know, I'm tracking the end of this wave 1 decline, so I think we're pretty close to the end of this wave 1 decline again. So we've got a 5-wave pattern in wave 1, and then we'll look for a pretty large rally. A pretty large rally in wave 2. Sorry, my dog is under my feet here. Every now and again I forget, and then I kind of stand on her by accident. Okay, we have wave 3, 4, and 5. We're completing wave 5 soon enough. So here's the hourly count on wave 5. You can see wave 5 in red here. So we've got wave 3, 4, and 5 within wave 5 in red. And within wave 5 in green, we've got wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're extending lower into wave 5. The trend channel here is actually pretty much closed out here. maybe in with a fifth of a fifth of a fifth, you would expect to punch through that before reversing higher. So we might just get that. I'm neither for nor against it, so we'll see how it goes. The internal pattern can be viewed a little bit differently. We could go an expanded flat correction in here. It does look quite correct. It is probably the right size for a fourth wave as well. This is a nice fit for a fourth wave. I'm not against it, but it could be a fourth of a third as well, so I don't know. This could be wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 within wave 3, and then we have expanded flat correction wave 4, and now we're working on wave 5 down. Depending on how you want to view that, it's up to you. On the longer side of this, we could also have an ending diagonal. We could have 3 waves down in 1, 3 up in 2, 3 down in 3, 3 up in 4. So it could get quite choppy over the next couple of days to close out this pattern. What else can I say here? Look to the previous 2 fourth wave highs. Obviously, if we break above this fourth wave high, 117, then we know the market has pretty much turned. We might get an early signal with a break above this fourth wave high, the 113.60 or so. Definitely 114.60 here. So between 113.60 and 114.60, we have 2 inner fourth waves, smaller degree fourth waves. This would be the major signal, this fourth wave. So if we rally back above that fourth wave here, you know that the market has pretty much turned. But anyway, suffice to say, the downward channel is closed. We have 5 waves pretty much done. We're just looking at the internal labeling of this final 5th wave, and we'll see how we get there throughout the next couple of days. Okay, dollar yen. I had to switch on dollar yen this week again. The incessant bullishness of, you can see, right, here's my story, right? You can see that I should go out a bit. I've been calling for that rally in dollar yen for a long time. I was following this triangle here in wave B, and I was calling for a rally above 125 to begin with in wave C. And you can go back to, let's say, if you go back to the videos around December 2020 again, you can see, you'll see that I was looking for a rally in dollar yen. Okay, so we've got what I thought was a 5-wave pattern complete in wave 3. I thought it was complete back here, and I thought we were working on an expanded flat correction wave 4. That's not what has materialized, because this week we just launched higher again. So we go to the 4-hour count here. You can see that we have a 3rd wave, a 4th wave, and we're working now on a 5th wave to close out wave 3. See, I had closed out. Actually, I had closed out this 3rd wave here, and we were working on an expanded flat in wave 4. Now that is not what has materialized. So now we have a 5-wave pattern working higher in wave 5 of 3, and we will come to wave 4. So again, we have the $3 cross markets actually signaling that a top is coming in the dollar pretty darn soon, and we'll see a rally into a large C wave in euro dollar, a rally into a large second wave in pound dollar, and a decline in a large 4th wave in dollar yen. So that is what's coming, I think, over the next couple of months. We'll have to close out this 3rd wave first. Let's get into the hourly count here. You can see that I've got 1, 2, 3. Again, expanded flat correction wave 4. And then we'll work higher in a 5-wave pattern into wave 5. The minimum target here would be, let's say, a break of 145. Let's see where. I'm actually looking at that trend channel now, and we'll see. Maybe we'll close that out around 149, 150. So there could be another sizable rally in it to close out this 5th of a 3rd wave. I suppose it does explain the extended kind of momentum that has happened within this 3rd wave. But anyway, here we go. I want to move on to the Dow. The pattern is moving along. Maybe not as clear-cut as I thought it would. Sorry, I've got my cup of tea there. Need to lubricate the mouth now and again. It maybe not moving as, let's say, as impulsively as I thought it would, but I think we're gearing. There's different levels of count working here. We have the 1st and 2nd wave in green. We have a 1st and 2nd in blue. We've probably got a 1st and 2nd in pink labels, and then we've got probably a 1st and a 2nd coming at 1 degree below that again. So it's up in the air at the moment on how this count is going to materialize. At the moment, I'm still on high alert, let's say, for a crash scenario if we haven't had enough already, but I don't think we have. The kind of waterfall declines over, like, say, a period of a couple of weeks into a third of a third of a third wave. That's what I'm looking for here, and I think we're just beginning that now. We're kind of kicking it off into gear in these lower degree first and second waves. This may not come in the next day or so. I still, like, in the back of my head, I have this niggling fear that we're going to hit a Monday, Tuesday crash scenario one of these weeks. It hasn't happened yet, but that does not mean it's not going to happen. I think it's probably building towards that kind of scenario. That's the 4 hour count. So I would expect, we're going to close out a second wave here soon, and we're going to move into an acceleration period, maybe even sooner than I expect. And that acceleration will collapse this bubble. I think, in terms of the larger degree third wave, like, so we've got wave 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. Let's say that larger degree third wave will probably, crash towards the mid, low 20s, maybe 23, 22, before we see some sort of consolidation and a close out of a third wave. So it's a long way down, from 29 to 22. That's 7,000 points. That's more than the 07-09 crash, if you look at it that way, or it's the bulk of. So what do I expect next week? Okay, let's move on to the hourly chart, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. The possibilities are the main, let's say, the main outlook I have is to close out a series of lower degree second waves, and we seem to be doing that, punching those cards. Wave 2 in blue, wave 2 in pink. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, maybe a triangle fourth and a fifth wave down in wave 1, and then we get a bounce in wave 2, and then that's the end of it. That bounce in wave 2 shouldn't push much higher than 20 or maybe 3,500. Sorry, 30,500. So maybe back into the middle of that kind of gap lower that we had in that third wave there this week. So we've got wave 1, 2, 3, triangle fourth, blip down in wave 5 of 1, and then we get a retracement higher towards maybe the 30,500 level, and then we are open season for that kind of crash scenario. So let's see how today goes. Today could well be that second wave in its completion, in its entirety. And then, on Monday we open with a gap lower maybe, or we open with, weakness, and we turn it Tuesday into like some sort of a real, acceleration sell-off phase to begin this third of a third decline. So the risks are so high that I just can't leave this count alone until it's completely ruled out. And when will that happen? Well, this particular count will be ruled out if we break 31,155. So we've got that second wave high. If we break that second wave high, we'll have to reassess what's happening in this wave 1 and 2. So we probably move out to some sort of a larger 1-2 scenario there. But for the moment, the door is opening to the downside here, so watch out. Okay, so an interesting development in gold this week. The final fifth wave, we're still tracking that final fifth wave. I don't think it's materialized just yet. We have the scenario here for an ending diagonal that seems to be kind of moving along quite okay at the moment. The kind of lower end of what I'm looking at here is about 1,600 to close out wave 5 in green. We haven't seen any sort of a reaction to the recent declines, so this is all corrective. whatever's happened over the last week or so has been corrective, and we're moving lower again this morning. So I think we're probably moving in towards a closing phase where we probably fall to the low 16s, 1600. Maybe we even break 1600 to complete this pattern. Now I've actually moved my final fifth wave here in blue to an ending diagonal pattern. So you can see we've got wave 1, 2, a large extended third wave in 3 waves, and then maybe a tightening fourth wave, and maybe we're beginning that fifth wave down now. It's a scenario that's still playing out, and I'm just going to have to let it happen because I don't think we can call a low just yet for gold. I think we're so very close. If we break this this downward wedge here to complete maybe around 1600, and we bounce up, powerfully off 1600, then I think we're done for this long-term correction in gold. If we go to the daily count for a second, I'll just show you what I'm actually trying to close out here. So long-term, the ABC pattern in wave 4 is where I'm at. This has gone on since August 2020, so over a year and a half now. We've just basically ranged. We've gone nowhere. We're back at the highs of the mid-March 2020s. I think we are pretty darn. We're close. Like in terms of a daily pattern, we're done on this correction, and we should be looking higher, at least in the daily pattern. On the 4-hour pattern, we're very close to done. Once we break lower impulsively, we finish 5 waves down out of this short-term correction that we've had over the last week or so, then we are done, I think. For gold, we need to start looking higher pretty soon. So on the hourly count, that's what I'm looking at, this kind of closing, tightening noose around this wedge here. If we break below the lower trend line, that will probably bring us to about 1620 or so. Magic number might be around 1600. We'll see how it goes. So next week, again, looking for a final low in gold. But you see, the problem is, in taking a kind of a larger view here, a bird's eye view, the rally into wave 5 in blue here. Let's go out. Yeah, wave 5 in blue here. The rally that will double prices in gold will come with extreme fear, and we just haven't had extreme fear yet. There's just been nothing. We're going the daily. This is the stock market. As far as everybody is concerned, normally, normal Joe Soaps are concerned, we're just ranging in the stock. Stock market hasn't done anything. Basically, it's just gone sideways for the last year and a half. So, in terms of the general consensus, wider public, there is no panic. Even though I'm panicking in my heart, there is no panic here. In terms of the wider public. So go back to gold. I would probably reserve the major accelerations in gold to a point of widespread panic in the wider public. So widespread panic will come. I don't think we'll start wave 5 with widespread panic, but I think we'll accelerate in wave 5 with widespread panic. So let's see how, that's kind of where I would see, the initial decline or the initial, let's say, acceleration into wave 3 in the stock market may well come with pulling gold even lower. Maybe we push down towards 1500. I just have to, I don't know, we have to read the pattern as it goes. The kind of downdraft might pull everything with it. And then, people will start to, sell and try and get into something that they don't fear as much. So I think gold will be that. And then the fifth wave rally will begin in earnest. Okay, let's get into crude oil. We'll go to the daily count of crude oil. Here is what I'm looking at in the daily count. I am watching for the longer term decline in wave C. So I don't know what brings that about. I think the in general, most of the pieces are in place. I'm probably holding out for maybe one final lower high before again accelerating into a third wave. So it'll go down with the stock market. I don't believe there's any. I don't think you can have any other viewpoint on that. Once the stock market goes, the economy, whatever is holding the economy or people's sentiment together right now is gone. The rug is pulled from underneath you, and that's it. Crude oil gone. Natural gas gone. To heck with your bubble. It's gone. You're not going to sustain the prices. They'll just be gone. So that's what I expect in a third of a third decline in wave C. We'll probably pull it back, towards $30 or so before we see real consolidation in a fourth wave. So that's kind of where I'm looking at right now. The main count is still kind of in place. I mean, maybe I'm being overly optimistic here for this second wave. We have wave 1 down, an A, B, C, expanded flat correction, wave 2. The alternate count here is that we have a running flat correction already complete in wave 2, and we're actually working at 1 degree lower, a 1-2 impulse wave to begin wave 3. So things could turn bearish very quickly here in crude oil also. I mean, the action is not matching, and this is what I've been saying throughout the week. I mean, I couldn't rule out this pattern here, but I think I probably can this morning, to be honest. This was my pattern last night. This was my worry last night, that I couldn't actually rule out that pattern, but I think we can rule out the very short-term count in pink. If we break below 81 again, I think we'll probably have to suggest that we are into a third wave decline. So I think it's a case of watch out here. There may be still one rally left in it. I don't know, to complete wave C of 2, but I think it's a case of watch out in the energy markets pretty soon. Over exuberance and over bullishness always gets paid back in one way, and that is to the downside. That is in bankruptcy. Okay, so we've got the potential here. I'm going to concentrate right now. I'm going to concentrate on the alternate count. We've got a potential here for a 1-2, a 1-2, and a decline into a third of a third. Again, I mean, if you're seeing a repetition here, maybe that's because you should be seeing a repetition here. I'm seeing 3s all around, and they're all facing down. Okay, let's go to the S&P. The S&P is pushing this morning. The futures are pushing to create a new low. Well, we're still 100 points off it, but the S&P wants to break to a new low for the year, and it will not be stopped if we are actually declining in wave 3 now. So the let's say initial target for this third wave in blue would be down around let's say 34.60 or 34.50. I don't think we'll actually stop there at all because of the size of wave 1, or the size of wave 1 of 3. I need to show you that in the hourly count, but suffice to say, I think let's say the larger wave 1 and 2 here would suggest that we get a decline. This would be the waterfall decline moment. It would suggest a decline into the high 20s, so it'd be 2,700 or so, where we reach 162% like extension decline in wave 3. So wave 3 of 3 has very much, has a whole lot of potential bagged up into it. And once this breaks, this dam breaks, then it's going to damn well break. Let's get into the hourly count here. We've got 5 waves down. Here's that wave 2 high. I may have to move this count up. I think it will have to actually this evening. Wave 1, ABC correction, wave 2, wave 1 and 2, and you'll see this morning we have, or the last couple of days we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 decline. So this could be wave 1 to begin wave 3. So don't be surprised to see a small bounce as the market opens, maybe towards the end of the day in a second wave, and then we reserve that kind of waterfall moment again that I keep speaking about. Wave 3 of 3 for next week or early next week. Obviously, if we break support today, then we're probably already into it. So it's probably too late at that point. Okay, so I would be watching. We are at that kind of interim support level at 37.20, and that marks the previous B wave here. So that's wave B of that rally, that recent summer rally. So it's a reasonable support level. I mean, it held the market for nigh on a month there. So it might even surprise. It might even supply enough support to kind of halt the decline and create a lower degree correction here. And maybe then we fall next week. But again, I'm just sounding the alarm that I have been sounding over the last while. People say I'm repeating myself and I'm always bearish, but I was bearish at the wave 2 high here and it worked out. I was bearish at this wave 2 high. It worked out. I'm now bearish again. How long can I keep going like this? But here I am. Okay, so we've got a band of support. Maybe this band of support supplies enough support to kind of create a lower degree shoulder here to the right again, and then we retain this waterfall moment for Tuesday, Wednesday next week. But we'll see how it goes. Watch this today. That's what I would say. Okay, let's move on. Am I still recording? I hope so. Let's get on to silver. And this is the count I've been following in silver. A possible rally into wave 4 and then a decline into wave 5. I think wave 5 will bring us below 1750 again, possibly even towards $15 to complete. So we've got this a possible expanded flat correction, wave 4. Maybe we're even done already. We'll see how that goes today. Here's the hourly count. I'm tracking a wave C of 4, a possible triangle in wave 4 of C of 4, which would suggest maybe a rally into wave 5. But we'll see how it goes. That would be for next week, a pop above 2086 and then a decline again. That would be a pretty sharp decline. Now, I suppose the worry is that we already have, let's say, a running flat correction already complete in wave 4. Not quite sure on that yet. Okay, let's go to Bitcoin. This is what I'm following. The longer term count. Go to the daily count here. The daily count is I am looking at this third wave within wave C of B. I don't think we're there yet. Probably another 5-wave pattern lower to complete this. Maybe we even get back towards that 10 to 12,000 range before we complete wave 3, and then we bounce in wave 4 and 5. So I've kind of got ahead of myself there. Wave C of B, will come probably further on into the depression that's arising. So first of all, we've got to close out wave 3 here. So go to the 4-hour count. Wave 5. Yeah, I'm ahead of myself on the longer term count. Or sorry, on the shorter term count. I'm actually being very gracious on the shorter term count here. 5 waves down in wave 5 of C. Tracking a C wave instead of a third wave, actually. That's what I've been doing. Okay, so 3. We were looking at that correction during the summer in wave 4. We've moved lower out of that again. We haven't broken support yet, but it seems to be that we have a wave 1 and 2, and now a wave 1 and 2 scenario. So again, third of a third. Decline is on the cards here. So we've got wave 1 and 2 done. That came out of the summer doldrums, I suppose you might call it. And then wave 1 and 2 into this week's high, and then a wave 1 and 2, and a possible again third of a third of a third decline scenario, looking at us, staring at us in the face. If we break support again, if we break that 18,000 level again, I would suggest hold on to your hat, because we're probably going to again face a kind of a waterfall decline in Bitcoin. Let's go. We'll go to NASDAQ. Here's the 4-hour count in the NASDAQ. We were expecting we got that second wave bounce that we were looking for, and then we've fallen, quite dramatically out of that second wave high. I think we probably are in here. So yeah, wave 1 and 2, expanded flat wave 2, and then we've got a wave 1 and 2, and now we're on a 1 and 2 again. So again, the market is suggesting that we're going to break to new lows, and it will be a third wave acceleration lower. So here's the hourly count. We're breaking quite well. The futures are kind of slipping quite fast this morning. I'm not sure if that's going to hold for the whole session. It may not. It might be a case of a smaller degree 1-2 bounce here, just like with the stock markets. At times like this, they'll just move in unison. So we've got that 1 and 2 in blue, 1 and 2 in pink, maybe a 1-2 at one lower degree before we again, that big dreaded decline, that kind of 1929, October crash scenario, and we're right back in that time frame again. So the time of destruction for stock markets is here, and the wave counts are in place. So you make of that what you will. You know what I think. Okay, I think that's it, actually. I don't have anything else hiding there, do I? No, I don't. Okay, that's it. I always end these. Well, thank you for hanging around for the end of the market update. I always end these market updates with the good news, because I give you so much bad news in the markets. I try and give you some good news for eternity, and that is, the salvation offered by belief in the Messiah. So the Messiah came 2,000 years ago. He's coming back again pretty soon. So, what else can I say? Sometimes I always begin these and I never know what the heck I'm supposed to say. I'm not here to convince you. That's not my job. My job is to go spread the good news. That the good news is that if you wish, the free gift of salvation is yours. It is on one condition, that you believe in the Messiah. So you have to believe that He has paid for your sins. You have to receive it. You have to reach out and grab it. There's no point in me holding out a free gift to you, or God holding out a free gift to you, if you're not going to reach out and grab it. Okay, so you don't have to work for it. It's not by works, so that you can't boast. Heaven or eternal life is not given to you as a reward for your good works, because, as Jesus Himself said, none of us are good. Only God is good. And then again, that was, a point to, that was kind of like a kind of Him just pointing at Himself again. Before Abraham was, I am, as He said. So Jesus, the Messiah, is God incarnate. And that's, I'm going to get some, there's always people shouting at me, I love when I get emails, people shouting at me. So, bring them on. To all my Jewish friends, you will be blowing the trumpet soon. And you do expect your Messiah. Well, He will be coming back a second time in judgment, because you missed Him the first time when He held out that free gift of salvation. Go and read your Bible. Go and read Isaiah, Yeshua 53. What is it? Nun Gimel. Read Isaiah 53. Read the Psalms. He's everywhere. He's all over it. Everywhere you see a rock, He is the rock. Everywhere you see salvation, He is salvation. Yeshua, salvation. It's speaking of Him. Everywhere, you saw Moses. Moses gave his final blessing. He was speaking of the Messiah, Yeshua. Right. I'm not going to convince anyone. This is the good news of salvation. If you want it, it's there for you. And if you have hung on until right now, the Lord's blessings to you. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I hope the depression doesn't completely wipe you out. I hope the coming, world war doesn't completely wipe you out. if you want to escape that, believe in the Messiah. For he did say, the time of wrath, we are not appointed to wrath, and he will come to collect his church out of here. So, right, I've done enough. I think it's been a very matter-of-fact presentation, but that's that. Until next week, have a great weekend, everybody, and I will see you on the far side. God's blessings to you. Shalom. Bye-bye.